Good afternoon, good afternoon. Audible?
Ma'am, little much.
Wait. Uh, Wait a second. Very high. Am I audible, Sahib? Sucheta?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Today there is like lot of network issues this side also. I've been trying to connect. So how are your classes?
What, ma'am? The
How are
audio
your
is not
classes going
clear.
today? Okay, can you hear now?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Now it's clear,
Okay.
ma'am. Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So I'm shouting to my lungs capacity. That is the problem. Acha. So you all attended other classes or
Yes,
trying to
ma'am.
attend?
Yes, ma'am. Today
Okay,
we
good.
attend
Yes,
all the
ma'am.
classes.
Wow. That is what I feel that you all are like the best group of students which we have. Right. So it's so hot this side. What is the condition on your side?
Ma'am, same here. It is hot, very.
Same here, huh?
Yes.
Yeah, it's too hot. Wait, it's and the network this side is so slow today
Ma'am, same here.
that
We are
Yes,
automatically
ma'am.
disconnecting from the group meeting app.
acha, one thing I would like to ask you all. Okay, so take a second. Tomorrow, most probably, I would be taking a leave, right? So I would be covering your class for tomorrow on Friday. So now we have two options. One is that my class is at this time only on Friday also. Okay. So one option is that I take my class and then I take Tuhin sir's class. Or the other option is that I take my class and then on Friday last period you all are free. So what do you all suggest? That two continuous classes or one class break you want in between? You think amongst yourself and then you tell me, okay? Because most probably tomorrow I would be on leave.
Okay, ma'am.
Yes, Ashwarya, you're trying to say something, Sahib. You discuss among yourself and
Okay,
you
ma'am.
tell me, huh?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am.
So, hmm, what more I was saying that? Okay, so we'll try to. Everyone has seen the lesson plan, I believe. So we will try to do a revision of our subject and try to cover as much as possible. And obviously, I have shared with you all. I'm very happy to see some new faces who do not used to be present. Debarpreet is here, so I hope everything is fine at your home, Debarpreet.
Yeah, ma'am, exactly. Everything is fine.
Fine now.
Yeah, exactly. Everything is fine.
That's good. That's good. Chalo. So what I was saying that I have shared my lesson plan with you all, right? In the Google Classroom also and in the WhatsApp also. So we would be trying to do the revision, and obviously I have told you all before also that the question pattern also I have shown you, given you a special sample. So there won't be big derivations. There won't be big sums, big questions. 10 marks MCQ would be there, and 10 marks will be very short answer type questions, right? And also, I had told you all before only that whatever portion we had in midterm, that won't be coming for end term. So the things that were in midterm that are not coming in end term. Okay, so that also I have told you all, and I have also discussed the syllabus with you all before also, that what all you need to study, because we have already done a lot of revisions also. But still, let's have some refreshing courses, right? So fine. So, I believe all of you who are present here have joined in the LMS.
Yes, ma'am. I have.
Yeah,
And I have
because
joined the
a lot of
LMS.
like a lot of notes I have shared with you all in Google Classroom, that was there, and also I have shared a lot of other notes in the LMS, so that would be also helpful, right? So I'll just do a revision. Okay, I am presenting my screen. Where is my screen? Wait, not this one. I'm just a moment. So present. So the screen is visible. Screen is visible.
Yeah, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I'll just do a brief revision, right? Of 2-3 topics today. So let's start with the thermal radiation. So you all know about thermal radiation? I believe all of you know that what is radiation. I believe all of you know what is radiation. All of you know what is radiation. Acha, just a moment. Where I was. So many things are open now. I am getting confused. So I believe all of you know what is thermal radiation. So thermal radiation, there are 3 different modes of these are there. So wait. Tab this one. Huh. So is it here? Because I have discussed with you all na, types of. Anyways, first time that's causing me problems. I'm getting confused what to share. Wait. This one is okay, good. So let's start. So we have 3 different modes of heat transfer. There's conduction, convection, and radiation, right? All these 3 are the modes of heat transfer. So conduction, I believe everyone knows what is conduction. Conduction is the transfer of heat from one part of a body to another part of the body due to the actual movement of the atoms or molecules. So that is due to the vibratory motion of the atoms or molecules. I have explained in the class also what is conduction, that when you heat one end of a rod, then suppose the molecules or the atoms that are near that end of the rod, they gain the energy, they start vibrating in their position, and then they pass that heat to the neighboring atoms, and in this way the then in this way what happens that you can see the screen. Again a problem is there. Wait. So what I was saying, that when you heat one end of the rod, the atoms that are near that end, they gain the energy, they start vibrating, they pass on the energy to the neighboring atoms, and in this way the heat energy is carried from one end of the rod to another. So conduction is a mode of heat transfer due to the vibratory motion of the atoms. That means the heat is transferred from one position to another without the actual displacement of the atoms, right? Then what is convection? Convection takes place as a form of heat transfer that takes place inside a fluid. Fluid means liquid and gases. Now this mode of heat transfer that takes place due to the actual movement of molecules. Like when you suppose you take water in a beaker, you heat it, then the water that is near the bottom, it gets heated up, it becomes light, it rises up, and the heavier water, it comes down due to the weight, and then that gets heated up. So this is the convection. So conduction and convection both require a medium to transfer, both require a medium to propagate, both require a medium to transfer energy. However, conduction does not involve actual movement of molecules, whereas convection involves actual movement of molecules. Now let's come to the third thing, that is the radiation. Let's come to the third part, that is the radiation. So radiation is again a mode of heat transfer where heat energy is carried from one part of the body to another without the involvement of the medium. Right? That is the difference between conduction and radiation. In conduction also there is no actual movement of molecules, but it requires a medium to transfer the heat. Whereas radiation also there is no actual transfer of the molecules, but it is able to transmit from one place to another without a medium. So we know that how does this radiation carries forward? This carries forward in the form of electromagnetic waves or electromagnetic rays. So what are the electromagnetic waves? Electromagnetic waves are something which consists of both electric field and magnetic field vectors, right? This all we know. So here in the tab, you can see I have written that there is a law. Now that is the law, that is a Parvast law. We tell it as Parvast law. What does this law states? That all the soft surfaces, all the bodies at all temperatures emit thermal radiations at all times. This is a general universal law that all surfaces, whether solid or liquid, they emit thermal radiation at all temperatures and at all times. That means that I am also radiating some thermal radiation at present. You are also radiating some thermal radiation at present. Your laptop, your mobile is also radiating some thermal radiation at some moment. Just a moment, guys. Thank you. Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So that is a general law of thermal radiation, that all surfaces at all temperatures emit thermal radiations at all times. Now here you can see in the screen, I have written that the overall amount of emitted radiation or the rate of emission per unit area is proportional to the fourth power of absolute temperature. So this is the law. So this is an important law. This is Stephen Boltzmann's law. You know that, right? So if suppose there is a body whose temperature is 100K, if suppose there is a body whose temperature is 100K, then the rate of emission will be 4 times 100. That means 10 to the power 2 into 4, like that means 10 to the power 8 watt per meter square. Understood? Right? So this is the law of Stephen Boltzmann. So now I was talking that thermal radiation is emitted in form of electromagnetic waves. So here you can see this one. Here you can see this one is the scale of electromagnetic radiation. So our thermal radiation lies somewhere between 0.1 to 10 microns. Right, 0.1 to 10 microns, and the visible light is between 0.4 to 0.7 microns. You just remember this, we will come to this later. Right, so now what are the important features of thermal radiation? One thing I told, that all surfaces emit thermal radiations at all temperatures at all times, and the overall amount of emission is proportional to the fourth power of absolute temperature. Right, now this is another thing, that all the surfaces or any surfaces which is giving out the thermal radiation, it gives out all kind of wavelengths. Now what is important in case of radiation is that we need to understand that radiation connects temperature with wavelength. Radiation connects temperature with wavelength. Like the value of the temperature gives has a relationship between wavelength, and that is your Wien's displacement law. That will come to later. So these are first you see what are the important features. Now the second feature I already told that the thermal radiation is emitted in the form of electromagnetic waves. And it does not mean, now I don't know you have studied quantum mechanics or not as of present. So the quantum mechanics brought to us the concept of waves, right? So when we are telling that thermal radiation is emitted in the form of electromagnetic waves, that does not mean that a thermal radiation will only consist of one wave, like one wavelength, like 400 nanometer. No, it will be consisting of a continuous wavelength, maybe from somewhere from 200 to 900 nanometer. However, it will have a peak at around 420 or 430 nanometers. So there will be a wave. You have seen wave, right? You have seen wave of water. So just as it does not correspond to one sharp point, it corresponds to a range of values. It corresponds to range of values. So similarly, thermal radiation does not emit only one particular wavelength of EM waves, so electromagnetic waves. It emits a range of electromagnetic wave, and that also I have already told that they do not require a material medium for propagation. Right now here I have tried to describe that what are the important aspects of thermal radiation. Right, so suppose there is a body here. Suppose there is a body which is at a temperature Ts and it is surrounded by an enclosure whose temperature is T. Suppose you are sitting in a room and your temperature is Ts and the temperature of the room is Te, right? And the temperature of the room is Te. Now to begin, let's assume that Ts is greater than T. That means the temperature of the body is more than the temperature of the enclosure. Then what will happen? This enclosure, it will emit radiation. As I told that all the bodies emit radiations at all the times, and this will also emit radiation. But since it is at a higher temperature, so now it will absorb the radiation from this enclosure. So this process will continue till the body, sorry, my mistake. So this is at a higher temperature, Ts is at a higher temperature and this is at a lower temperature. So this body, the Ts will emit radiations till the temperature of Ts comes down. Till Ts cools, right? Till the surface cools, till Ts is low. This is a common principle, right? There is a flow. Anything we have studied in transport phenomena, right? So if there is a motion, if there is a movement of molecules from a system of higher momentum to a system of lower momentum, right? Remember in transport phenomena or in mass diffusion, we have studied this, that the motion continues till it is equalized. So similarly, this body will emit radiation till it gets cooled off, right? Now the third point is directional nature of the thermal radiation. So it emits radiation like this. See, it is in the form of a hemisphere. A surface emits radiations in all direction encompassed by a hemisphere, right? So that is the directional nature, right? Right, clear? Now let's come to what is a black body? What is a black body? So tell me, what is a black body? Tell me what is black body? Anyone? Who will tell? Nobody is telling.
Ma'am, I can
Ma'am, black body is a hypothetical body
Huh.
that is capable of absorbing all kind of electromagnetic radiation.
Yes, good. Good. So for a black body is actually, yes, it's a hypothetical body that absorbs all radiation. That means that for it, the absorptive power of black body is 1, and it does not reflect anything, it does not transmit anything. That means for a black body, the absorptive power is 1, the reflectance is 0, and the transmittance is also 0. right? So that is a perfect black body. However, it is not possible to obtain a completely perfect black body ideally, because there will be some ways that way the body will either reflect or transmit or lose the energy. Right, so that is the definition of the black body. Yes, but it is a hypothetical concept. Yes. So here we are writing that it is an ideal surface that absorbs all radiations falling on it irrespective of its wavelength or direction. And for a given temperature and a wavelength, a black surface emits the maximum amount of energy. Right? So it absorbs all the energy, and it at all of all wavelength and all direction, and for a given temperature and wavelength, it emits the maximum amount of energy. So it is basically an ideal surface, right? So that is, so what is the most common black body example we know in our day-to-day life?
Sun.
Yes, sun is the most common example of black body that we see in our day-to-day life. The sun is the ray of light from sun is coming to us without having any medium in between. So that is, it is coming due to radiation. But sun itself is also not a perfect black body. You can't get a perfect black body. Now there are certain terms which we have discussed. So let's have a quick revision of these. So first one is total hemispherical emissive power or emissive power, right? So the definition is the radiant flux that is emitted from the surface of the body. So radiant flux that is emitted from the surface of the body. So, or in other words, we can say that the radiant flux emitted per unit surface area for all wavelengths along all directions. Radiant flux emitted for all wavelengths along all directions per unit surface area. So that is your total hemispherical emissive power. It is denoted by E. Why total? Because it is for all wavelengths. Why total? Because it is for all wavelengths. And why hemispherical? Because it is for all directions. In the feature of thermal radiation, we have studied that the thermal radiation is emitted in all directions encompassing a hemisphere. Like all those directions that when you join, that it forms a hemisphere, right? So the total hemispherical emissive power is defined by E, and the total hemispherical emissive power of a black body is denoted by E to the suffix B, right? This you can see. Now the next term is total hemispherical emissivity. So that is shown by epsilon. So it is the ratio of the total hemispherical emissive power E to the total hemispherical emissive power of the black body at the same temperature. Remember, in case of black body radiation or radiation, the temperature as well as wavelength and direction. All these three things are very important, as well as the area. Like a body of 1 meter square will obviously emit more radiation than a body having a surface area of 1 centimeter square, right? Right? So the material of the body, the surface area of the body, the temperature of the body, the wavelength of the body, and the wavelength of the radiation and the direction of the radiations. All these are important parameters that quantify the value of thermal radiation emitted from a body. So the total hemispherical emissivity epsilon is defined as the ratio of small e, that is the hemispherical emissive power, to the hemispherical emissive power of the black body at same temperature. So here I have written that epsilon is always greater than equal to 0 and less than equal to 1. Why? This is because EB is EB is always maximum. That is, I told now that black body is a body that emits the maximum energy, right? And EB defines the radiant flux emitted per unit surface area from a black body. So since EB is always maximum, so epsilon can never be less than 0 or more than 1. So 1 is for perfectly black body, and 0, and the lesser values is as you go towards more and more opaque or gray bodies. Right? So now the next term is monochromatic hemispherical emissive power, that is denoted by E to the suffix lambda. Now hemispherical emissive power was radiant flux per unit surface area. This is radiant flux emitted per unit wavelength in all directions. See the difference. It is for per unit.
Can you please repeat this again?
Okay, so hemispherical emissive power. See, hemispherical emissive power was radiant flux emitted per unit surface area. See the unit, watt per meter square. See the unit, watt per meter square. So it is emitted per unit surface area for all wavelength along all direction, right? Whereas this one is radiant flux emitted per unit surface area per unit wavelength, per unit surface area per unit wavelength for all directions. That's why the term monochromatic. Monochromatic means one wavelength, right? Right?
Yes, ma'am.
Others, are you understanding, or I'm just, as usual, giving my
Yes,
passion?
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes,
No,
ma'am.
no, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good. Lot of yes. I feel so good. Some. I feel that suddenly I felt that I'm in the class. So you all know now that if you don't say yes, so I don't feel that you are understanding. So that is an important condition. So anyways, so total hemispherical emissive power was per unit surface area for all wavelengths and all directions. See, the unit is watt per meter square, right? But monochromatic hemispherical emissive power is, you forget monochromatic. Hemispherical emissive power is radiant flux per unit surface area. Now, if you add monochromatic, that means only one wavelength. So, radiant flux emitted per unit surface area per unit wavelength for all directions. So, the unit is watt per meter square, like watt per meter square per micrometer. Micrometer is for, or micron is for wavelength. So, it is given as E lambda is equal to small change in the emissive power. E is small change in hemispherical emissive power, that is E, so dE by d lambda, like that means small change in wavelength. I told the definition per unit wavelength, but it is, you cannot give one value of wavelength since it's a wave. Right? Suppose an emissive power of a body there is a body whose emissive power at 400 nanometer is suppose 100 watt per meter square. So you exactly cannot find out the emissive power at 401. It's very difficult. So exact value you cannot find. So you have to find the change. So, and if it has a emissive power at suppose 401, so it will have some other value, suppose 98. So that is a change. So this small change is denoted. You cannot give an exact value in case of waves. So that's why it is denoted by a small change in the emissive power by a small change in the wavelength, dE by d lambda. So from here we can write that dE is equal to E lambda d lambda, right? E lambda is monochromatic hemispherical emissive power and d lambda is small change in wavelength. Now, if you integrate this, see, this is what I was saying. Suppose you make a curve. Suppose you make a curve of E lambda versus lambda. So I told you that the radiation will be always in form of a wave. So there will be a wave, right? Now there is a small change. There will be some value here. There will be some value here. So there will be some change, and corresponding to it, there will be some change in the left side also, y-axis also. This is for here and for here. This is for here and for here. Okay, try to visualize that this for this small change in dE, there will be some small change in lambda, right? So E lambda will be so that will be giving you, sorry, this is dE and this side is lambda. This side is d lambda. This is marked wrong. This is d lambda, and this side will be dE. This small change, this y-axis will be dE. Y-axis will be dE. This is d lambda. So we can write that E lambda is given by dE by d lambda. And so you can do a cross multiply and you can get dE is equal to E lambda d lambda. So if you now integrate this equation, since it is a small change in hemispherical emissive power for a small change in wavelength, so we can integrate for a whole range of values, that means from 0 to infinity. So if you integrate, so we'll get E, and that will be E lambda d lambda. That means total hemispherical emissive power can be obtained if you integrate the monochromatic emissive power for all wavelengths. That means you can get the total hemispherical emissive power E if you integrate the monochromatic hemispherical emissive power over all wavelengths. Right? So similarly, there is monochromatic hemispherical emissivity. So E lambda was monochromatic hemispherical emissive power, and for black body it will be denoted by EB lambda. So just as hemispherical emissivity was a ratio of E by EB, so monochromatic hemispherical emissivity is the ratio of E lambda by EB lambda. E lambda by EB lambda, and this will be at same temperature and same wavelength, at same temperature and same wavelength. Okay, so now let's come to another topic, that is gray surface. Gray surface is another hypothetical body. It is another hypothetical surface. That is because the value of a monochromatic hemispherical emissivity is different for different surfaces along the different values of wavelength. Remember, emissivity is with relation to the wavelength. Monochromatic hemispherical emissivity is with relation to the wavelength. You can control the temperature, but you cannot control the wavelength emitted. You cannot control the wavelength emitted. Why? Because it will be emitted in the form of electromagnetic waves. Why? Because it will be emitted in the form of electromagnetic waves. So you cannot control, you cannot have a precise value of wave. So the monochromatic emissivity will be different for different surfaces. So we again visualize a gray surface, which is an idealization concept for the calculation, where we take the average value. Like along this surface, we take the average value of E lambda, and again the value of E lambda is never more than 1 and is never less than 0 and is never less than 0. Right? Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
So this is some introduction to Planck's law. So you don't have a class now. When is your class? Next class?
Ma'am, I think I'm on.
Huh? Hello? Tell
Ma'am,
me.
3:55.
3:55. That's the last period. Okay, I won't take much. I'll just take 10 more minutes. Okay. Okay, I'll just take 10 more minutes. Okay, for today's class. So now here there was a Planck's law. Actually, there is another Planck law also. Okay, so before I go to the Planck law, wait, I want to discuss something else. Before I'll go to the Planck's law. Planck's law we will discuss in the next class. So I will do another presentation. Yeah. It's visible? This one is visible, guys?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
This is
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So this is what I was saying, that see the sun, the rays from sun that comes to earth, it comes in the form of electromagnetic waves, and it consists of all sorts of radiation, the infrared, ultraviolet, visible. You remember that scale which we discussed, for the EM waves. So it consists of all sorts of wavelengths. However, the color which we see, what color we see generally of the light?
I'm white.
White, right? So white white because it's like a combination of all the colors, and also in the early morning you will see bluish. Why? Because that is the light that is most scattered. That is the light that is most scattered. It has the least wavelength and the highest frequency. You know, now wavelength and frequency have an inverse relation, right? So, so now that theory of exchange that I already told, this is given that only all body emit radiation at all temperature, and amount of radiation depends upon the temperature as well as the material of the body. Obviously, a body what I say, some example. Obviously, a wood will emit lesser radiation than comparison to a iron surface, right? And obviously, a body having 100K will emit less radiation than a body having 1000K. So I believe all of you have seen when the iron rod is heated red hot. Have you seen and have you wondered that why does it appear red although the iron rod is black on being heated up? Have you ever wondered? That is because of the phenomena of radiation. That is because of the phenomena of radiation. Because at that particular temperature, it starts emitting more it emits all the light. You never think that the iron rod appears red hot at that temperature because it is emitting only red or yellow color. It is actually emitting all lights, but the maxima of the emitted radiation is at the red and yellow region. Okay, so this is now this whole okay, so this is a concept that when will the body absorb and when will the emission will take place. So if the surrounding temperature is more than the body temperature, if the surrounding temperature is more than the body temperature, then the absorption will be more than emission. Then the absorption will be more than emission, and in that case the body temperature will increase and the body will get heated up, right? Understood this? This is a very common thing. This is a very common thing. Understood, guys? Nobody is saying. सब लोग भाग गए क्या? How many are there?
Ma'am,
Yes, ma'am.
ma'am,
हाँ,
can you
yes.
repeat this again?
Okay. So now see, I was talking previously that black body is a body that will have that it will emit more maximum amount of energy and it will absorb all the light that is falling upon it. Now there is a very confusion amongst everyone or among students for that matter, that when will the body emit and when will be the body absorb, right? So when the sun, I told you now that let's suppose that you keep a body inside a room. Suppose you are the black body, right? And I keep you inside a room, right? So now if the temperature of the room is 200K, why your temperature is only 100K? If the temperature of the room is 200K and your temperature is 100K, and let us assume that there is no other way of heat loss, there is no reflection, no transmission, nothing is happening. You are a perfect black body and that room is a perfect enclosure. So since now the temperature of the room is since 200K and your temperature is 100K, so you will absorb. Your rate of absorption will be more than the rate of emission. So in that case, what will happen? The more a body will absorb, the more hot it will become and its temperature will increase, right? So this is what is the phenomena. The transport phenomena is this only. The temperature, the conductivity which you studied in transport phenomena, that happens why? Because of the difference in temperature, because of a temperature gradient, right? So the transport of molecules will continue till it is balanced, till both sides the temperature is okay or similar. So similarly, if the body temperature is less than the surrounding temperature, then it will absorb more, the body temperature will increase and the body will become hot. Now what will happen? Now the body temperature has increased and it has become more than surrounding temperature. Now in that case, the emission will be more than absorption. That means the body will emit whereas the surrounding will absorb. The body will emit whereas the surrounding will absorb. And in that case, the body temperature will fall down and the body will cool. Now what will happen when emission is equal to absorption? That means the temperature is same. In that case, body temperature will remain constant. right? In that case, body temperature will remain constant. So I remember after the previous few classes, this Akash had asked me a question that why the unit of emissive power is watt per meter square. So see, the emissive power depends upon, is given by the emitted heat, and it depends upon the, it is directly proportional to the surface area and directly proportional to temperature. So that means Q is directly proportional to A by T. Q is directly proportional to A and T, and if you remove the proportionality, you put a constant, that is the emissive power or hemispherical emissive power. So how to find the unit of hemispherical emissive power? E will be equal to Q by AT. See, E is equal to Q by AT. So the unit of heat is Q, J, that is joules, right? Joules, and the unit of temperature is centigrade, and area is meter per second square. Sorry, this is second. Q is proportional to area and Q is proportional to time. Sorry, Q is proportional to area and Q is proportional to time. So Q is directly proportional to area and time. So if you remove the proportionality sign, there will be a constant, that is E. That is E. So E will be given by Q by AT. So the unit of Q is J. Unit of Q is J. The unit of time is second. And the unit of area is meter square. So J by second is what? J is work per unit also. So work per unit time is power. Work per unit time is power. So joule by second is also identifies as watt. So watt per meter square. Watt per meter square. And absorbability, I was talking to you all, absorbability, about the concept of absorbability. This is not moving. About the concept of absorbability, right? आ गया, गायब हो गया, हाँ, it's here. So this is the absorptive power, that is heat absorbed by heat incident. Heat absorbed by heat incident. So absorptive power also lies in case or in the range of 0 and 1. Lies in the range of 0 and 1. So ideal absorber, A is 1, that means for black body A is 1, reflecting is 0, and transmittance is 0. Then these are all things, this I will discuss in the next class. And all the three laws I will discuss in the next class. Okay, so in the next next two classes I will complete the radiation, thermal radiation. So what is remaining? Stephen Boltzmann law. That is an easy law. I know. I believe all of you know that it is the amount of heat radiated is directly proportional to the fourth power of temperature. Then Mills displacement law is the maximum wavelength emitted is directly proportional to the temperature. And then there is the Planck's law, which gave us the concept of quantization of energy. Then there is the Rayleigh-Jeans law, ultraviolet catastrophic. This much only we have in radiation, right? We don't have much. Right, I think by now all of you have been accustomed by all these things, these terms. So if you have any
Can
other
you please
thing,
send the last page?
last page only I was doing. Okay, wait. This is in
This page,
LMS.
can you send this?
This is in LMS. Check the LMS.
Okay, ma'am.
This is in LMS only. I am teaching from there only. Okay, so check the LMS. It's there.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. So how many of you were there? 19 of you were there now. To begin, Aritra left in between. I don't know. Chalo, okay. Take care. One more thing. You will decide and tell me when you want. Like one class Friday is there. That is automatically my one class, and the other class of tomorrow, which I won't take. So you want continuous fifth, sixth, or fifth, seventh?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. You will tell me by tomorrow or by today only. If you could tell me by evening, it would be better.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Take care. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, ma'am.